Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Skylant Shore. Welcome back, Attack, and this is going to be my first impression review of Salem. And I can say, honestly, in my time at Full Sail, I had to review a lot of colleagues' work. That was kind of like our projects. Some people were like not even properly in video game design. They were just kind of helping out with the projects and stuff like that. So I would review their games, for fun and for also a grade. And you know what? This could have been one of those games. Like, seriously, this looks like somebody's very first attempt, like straight out of high school, maybe not even out of high school, and this looks like somebody's first attempt at a video game. Honestly, that's where I'm at right now. That's how I'm feeling. I played for 20 minutes, and that's how I feel. Why is that? A number of reasons, polished reasons, but I do want to clarify, this is one of those games that takes a long time to get into. I know. This is my second favorite genre, my first being multiplayer MOBAs, because I like competitiveness, but my second favorite, and honestly the genre that I play the most outside of competitive games, is going to be these hardcore, open-world, sandbox survival games. That's what Salem is, apparently. I would say it's kind of like Minecraft mixed with RuneScape a little bit. RuneScape because, the mechanics, the top-down look, the, clicking to move and all that, but then you also have some crafting stuff going on. You have the open-world survival-ness of it all. So yeah, when you can craft things, I mean, like, you can actually affect the terrain. To what extent, I do not know. I do know that you can actually make, like, tunnels and stuff. I don't know if you can actually, like, tear down mountains or whatever, or make pathways. I don't know about that. I don't know to what extent you can terraform, but apparently you can do that in Salem. So yeah, it is kind of Minecraftian. You can level up some different skills. It kind of survival-esque. So if you played, like, Ark Survival, if you played Mortal Online, if you played Albion Online, it's kind of similar to probably more so to Albion Online, because the controls and everything to that. But yeah, it is the open world survival, open world PvP as well game. But there, as novel idea as it is, even aesthetically, even though it looks kind of shitty, it still kind of has like this charm to it, right? It's supposed to be like this colonial period, like this sort of like the pioneers or pilgrims, but it's also kind of like Lovecraftian. There's some witchcraft, there's some magic and mystery involved, so it's a pretty unique setting. I think it definitely has a darker charm to it, but it's still cute and cartoony, as you can see with the big old heads. But still, it looks like shit in every possible way. It plays like shit too, okay? So I don't mean to be so harsh, but this is where the first impression is. 20 minutes in, and I've already done a video talking about this game for 20 minutes. I had to delete the little dialogue there, because you guys don't want to listen to me shit on a game for 20 minutes. Basically, I was actually really a fan of this game. I had no idea it released in June either, because there was actually kind of a lot of hype. I was really interested in this game because there's a couple other games in a similar genre. There was Albion Online, which you guys know, I put it in so many top 10s. I'm infatuated with that game. I love Albion Online. I think it's a good game. Even though I do have some gripes about it, it's still probably the best in the genre coming out. I also think DOS Tall is really interesting. We also did a first impression on that. Even RuneScape 3 kind of got me excited. But there's a lot of games in this genre with the same kind of control scheme that I also enjoyed. Oh, Don't Starve Together. Holy crap, I'm enjoying that. And also, there's a new expansion for Don't Starve, BTW. But anyways, so I fucking love this genre with this mechanic, the whole top-down, open world, sandbox thing. I like it. I think it's cool. It's fine. But this game does not do it justice. Why? So many reasons. Okay, first off, it's completely unintuitive. Like I said before, the game is kind of mechanically similar to RuneScape or Don't Starve, but they make everything super freaking complicated because, okay, for instance, you have to left-click on an item in your inventory, okay, but to actually use that item, you have to right-click it on an entity. So why is it left-click to pick up, right-click to drop? Why isn't it just one button to pick up, to drop, to utilize? I don't understand. Why is it so complicated? Not only that, but to move your camera, you have to click in middle mouse button, okay? That's not a problem. I'm cool with that. But they fucking inverted the Y and the X axis. They inverted the camera controls when you click in middle mouse. But why would you do that? Why? Now, okay, when you're customizing your character, you spawn as a gray blob, which is actually going to be a theme that you're going to see constantly. You're going to be loaded into new areas, and yes, even though it's open world, you are going to be constantly randomly loading in new areas. So imagine you're PvPing with somebody, you're running around, boom, black screen, loading, and then it stops and you're dead. Okay, so anyways, back on track. So when you're loading into these new areas, or sometimes you're not even loading into areas. You just see a new character in the horizon, and they're not loading fast enough. So they look like gray blobs, and they slowly put on clothes. And they're just like really unoptimized loading. The frame rate seemed capped or unoptimized because it was not 60 FPS, I'm telling you right now. And then the actual graphics themselves just seem blown up from standard definition, like really low standard definition. Like this game looks like it was meant to be played on tablet, which you can't apparently, and it doesn't run in the browser. It's a Java-based client, So you are playing basically a full-size game. You have to download it and everything, but that's not a big download. But still, like, I would expect higher quality, but it's not. Like, you can't even go full screen. You literally can't even go proper full screen in this game. I checked in the menus, guys. I checked, and you can't. And, like, reading the text, which there's a ton of text. This UI is so ugly. There's so much text, and at the same time, you can barely read it. Like, you have to really squint. In fact, I don't even know if you guys can read it in the video with the added compression from YouTube. I just don't even know, man. So, Salem, yeah, the UI is really rough. Like I said, I did a lot of reviews in Full Sail, right, for my colleagues, these people who make, like, their very first games. Those UIs look pretty similar to this. Like, this UI, pretty much everything about this game just looks incredibly amateur and immature. It really does. Okay, for instance, this is the big thing. This is actually where I quit doing my review, is I looked up at the skybox, and I know it's an isometric game, but you can still look around. Of course, you can see the textures are really, really low quality. But one thing that got me, man, is they have a skybox in this game, but you can see the seams of the skybox. I don't know if you guys have like toyed with any game design in 3D, but there's a thing called a skybox, and that's how you see the sky. It's actually 6 images on each side of a cube. Well, I don't know. It depends on what kind of skybox you got, but basically it's a bunch of images kind of put together. And in this game, you can see the seams of those images. So when you're looking at the sky, you literally can see like the skeleton of the cube, and that is just so amateur. That is beyond. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so yeah, Salem, pretty novel, pretty cool idea. Like on paper, if somebody pitched this idea to a company, I'm sure that they could make a game and make it well. But I don't know, man. Apparently, this is just done by 2 people. I honestly expect more out of one person. Like, have you guys seen Unturned? That was made by a 16-year-old. Yeah, that game actually looks significantly better than Salem, so I don't know what's going on with this, unless these people are like in middle school working together. But honestly, I really don't want to be so negative, but I feel like it honestly deserves it. It seems like there's some really cool ideas. Like, you can learn tons of different skills, and the cosmetics seem really fun. You know, you have different masks and hats, and it just seems fun and silly. But there's just so many weird game design choices that are just really, really immature. Like, okay, when you start the game and you try to customize your character, you don't actually get a customized character option. You have to go and click around and go to a barbershop, and you have to, like, keep clicking them. So you click them once, and then you get a mustache. You click them again, and you get a new haircut. You click them again, you get a new haircut. And you have to change. You have to go into this, like, dye bucket thing, and you get, like, different color hair. It's just weird. Why don't I have a separate menu to customize my character? I don't understand these game design choices. Why? Invert X and Y axis for the camera? What the I don't understand what you're thinking. Everything is basically, this game would be really cool if a game designer or a QA tester actually played this game and then told these guys, hey, yeah, everything's real fucked up and weird. What? Can we simplify things, please? Yeah. No, that didn't happen apparently. So I'm here now as a first impressioner, and I don't know if I'm going to be like one of the few YouTubers to actually review this game, because I could totally see why there's like no hype. It would be really hard to actually make a very good video on this. In fact, the trailer is probably the best video that you're going to find on Salem, which sucks. It sucks because it's a pretty cool idea, I honestly think. And this is one of my favorite genres, so I wanted to like it. I really did, but as soon as I got into the game, I could tell that it was of lesser quality in pretty much every single aspect. I mean, you could do cool things though, right? Like, you can craft and do stuff, open world PvP, but yeah. One thing I didn't really talk about was the mechanics of PvP and fighting, and that's because it's basically non-existent. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I'm constantly rubber banding. Just clicking on things is really awkward. There's a huge amount of latency. It's like very inaccurate as well. Sometimes I click on things, and my mouse is like right directly on top of it, but it's not registering as so. I don't know what's going on, man. Like, in every single aspect, this game is just, it falls, and it just, like, one of the worst games I've ever played, despite being one of the coolest ideas I've ever heard of. So, yeah, conceptualization probably was really awesome. Maybe some people had a cool idea, and they just got overexcited and tried to make a game when they couldn't, which sucks, because there are people who literally don't know how to make games and still make better games. And I'm really harsh. I'm really shitting on this, and no, I'm not being professional. I know I'm not. I'm being super casual, because this is my raw first impressions. I know I'm overdubbing, because when I did my live first impression, wow, you did not want to know some of the language I used there. But thank you for watching. I'm trying just to be real and honest for my viewers, and I'm sorry, developers to Salem. I really wanted to like this game, and I'm sure maybe there are some facets to this game that are interesting to a very niche amount of people, but to actually get to those really core, awesome gameplay elements, you have to just have so much patience, and that's not what a first impression is about. Oh yeah, and lastly, guys, I want to talk about the pay-to-win elements of the game, because some people would consider in this genre, which is all about progression, open world PvP, open world lost, loss, you know, it's not Care Bear game, so you die, and that sucks. I don't believe you lose your character or anything like Don't Starve, but still, the fact that you can straight up purchase materials, which this game is all about gathering, and it's about the economy, you know, it's an open world game. Since you can just straight up buy materials, currency with money, you know, if you have enough money, essentially, you're king of the server. That just ruins basically the whole gameplay point. It's just gathering, building up your character so that you can gather some more, control territory, stuff like that. If you can just purchase that kind of stuff, if you can just purchase your way to endgame, that's not good. In this genre, it is especially painful. I know it's really hard to monetize this kind of genre, but I feel like this game did it really, really bad. And it definitely needs to be brought to light. And that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching, guys. Please come back, attack, like, subscribe so that you can stay notified of all these new indie multiplayer games coming out. We'll keep you up to date, and I'll let you know my opinion on these, if you should try it, if you should not. And I feel like Salem doesn't make the cut. Probably shouldn't try it. Just trying to be open and honest and casual, so you guys can relate, you know what I'm saying? And sorry, developers. Don't mean to hurt your feelings. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Welcome back, Attack. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 free-to-play MMOs for this year, for 2015, and I think across all the genres for free-to-plays, we've seen so much innovation in MOBAs, in MMOs, in like card games. We've seen so many new things this past year, and hopefully, maybe, probably so, 2015 is going to be just as exciting. This is our